Kelly, Nash, Riley Skinner here from your ACC Digital Network studios. Time to break down that ACC weekend watch. Really hard to believe it's week 10 already. Now Clemson, Duke, let's start there. Sammy Watkins has been dormant as of late, but erupted last week, set a school record for 202 receiving yards. How do you think Duke's going to fare against this explosive offense?
Well, I don't see them doing much because Clemson right now is firing on all cylinders. Sammy Watkins is starting to emerge, and Tajh by far, hands down, the best quarterback right now in the ACC. And Duke, Duke come off a crushing loss to Florida State, just overmatched all across the board. And with Clemson playing an early game last week on Thursday, they get a couple days of rest and a couple more days of preparation. I think the only way Duke has a chance here is if they can catch Clemson sleeping at Wallace Wade Stadium. They don't come, fired up, prepared, and somehow Duke sneaks in a couple, turnovers or unforced touchdowns.
Now, speaking of a crushing loss and also a record day, the Pack lost to UNC last weekend, but Mike Glennon looked really good. How do you think he'll respond from that loss heading into this week against Virginia? Well,
good thing about Mike Glennon and the way he played last week is he gets to carry that over to a pretty struggling Virginia team right now. I mean, Virginia, I feel like they're in disarray. They're lost. They're searching for their first conference win. But NC State, what gets me about the Wolfpack, they've been so inconsistent in the fourth quarter. I mean, you look at the Miami game and then the North Carolina game, they essentially blew it and gave it to, both those teams on the last play of the game, but then they showed, heroic fourth quarter against Florida State. So they just need consistency. And in this matchup, I want to see Brian Underwood, the sophomore receiver for NC State, who's had a touchdown in every game this year, going against Demetrius Nicholson, the sophomore cover corner for Virginia, best corner they have. It's going to be a great matchup.
Speaking of inconsistent teams, Georgia Tech, Maryland, this is really a something's got to give scenario. The Yellow Jacket defense 73rd in the nation, but they're facing a Maryland offense that just lost their fourth QB, another season-ending injury. Who prevails?
Well, you mentioned the two storylines in this game, the defenses and the quarterback position. For Maryland, you've got Sean Petty, who's a converted high school linebacker, true freshman, coming to the other side of the ball to start against Georgia Tech. Luckily, it's a struggling Georgia Tech defense, but look at Georgia Tech's quarterback position. Last week against BYU, Paul Johnson pulled starter Tevin Washington, brought in Vad Lee. In my opinion, he throws the ball significantly better than Tevin Washington. He's just a little more inconsistent in the triple option read. So we could see two new quarterbacks right now starting this game. I'm curious to see how both of them play.
Yeah, Riley, we could see a little option on option. Petty ran the triple option in high school.
Well, at least the clock will run pretty fast in this game.
Yeah, it could be a wild ride. For more previews, visit us Saturday, 11 a.m. Eastern, right here on the ACC Digital Network, brought to you by Ruby Tuesday.